up, guys? It is King Scarlet Yu-Gi-Oh! Back again with yet another video that I'm confident calling pretty good. Today's video is called Top 5? Today's video is called Top 5 Reasons. Why? You can't even see my hand. Top 5 Reasons that your deck sucks. Now before you go anywhere, this is to help to get us all past those same things that I dealt with when I was first learning to deck build well. This is for people who want to play competitively, but it does not mean you have to do this with meta decks or what's classified as the top tier competitive decks. What I'm saying is even your rogue decks or casual decks are built to win, right? Like you don't play, no matter how much you say you don't care about winning, you don't build your deck to lose. So these are some things that I feel like people do without realizing it that cause even top strategies to suck that should be winning. So I think these could help you whether you're really competitive and you play meta decks or you play casual but want to optimize those decks to still be as good as they possibly can. So let's get started. There isn't really an order to these reasons, but I'm just going to list them. So let's just start with the first one. The first reason that your deck sucks is you are playing one-ofs, but thinking that they are win conditions. But they're not searchable. What are you doing? Your deck sucks. I'm sorry. If your win condition is based off of top decking something like Monster Reborn in order for it to pop off even a little bit, and that's like if it goes uninterrupted, your deck sucks. My second one kind of goes hand in hand with that one, actually. Sometimes people play decks with absolutely no win condition. Win condition. If you're playing a deck that just does a lot of things but doesn't end on at least a way to stop your opponent from playing a little bit in any way. It can be a floodgate, it can be an interruption or two. If you don't have something that's going to react or prohibit your opponent from playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In a way, your deck sucks. I'm sorry, it's just, if you can play your whole turn and I don't even have to worry about what you did, your deck sucks. Win conditions obviously are different. Not every win condition is going to be put up 20,000 negates, and it's also not going to be depending on all the back row for every deck, but you need to have a goal. That's step one for any deck. If you don't really have one, if you just hope that you can do a couple things but you don't know what they will be, yeah, you gotta change that up. Your deck sucks. This third one I see more often from people trying to find budget ways to be effective in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would fall into that category. I can't afford every expensive card in the game, and so I'm not insulting budget players because I am one, but I think sometimes budget players get tunnel vision and they aren't looking around for other ways to combat those who can afford the expensive, really good cards. For example, I still see people that haven't changed anything about the playstyle of a deck in any way, but they threw in 3 Ash Blossom and they think that they've created a meta contender. It just doesn't work that way. You'll have to look at what's successful right now and build a deck based off of that, but you can't get caught in like 2017 with your deck building strategies. Back then, you know, you could probably throw in a couple Ash and a couple Effect Veilers and maybe be effective. I don't know. I don't even remember what 2017 was, to be honest, but you gotta change it up. If you're still playing that way and getting mad, well, it's because you're stuck this way and your deck sucks. This next one is a really big one for me, and I see this happen with a lot of YouTubers who display their deck profiles. And you know what? I've done it too. It's hard not to because you really want to play a deck, but sometimes these people are not upfront about this. There are decks out there that do a crap ton of things if their opponent has no way to interrupt them. Okay? Now let's go back a little bit. Remember how I just said a good win condition can interrupt your opponent? So if you're playing a good opponent, you need to expect that they're going to interrupt you. So if your strategy can only go off, if your deck can only make plays if it goes uninterrupted, what? Your deck sucks. You gotta play test and figure it out. I would, when you play test a deck, assume you're going to get interrupted at least once or twice. That's how you know if you've got a strategy that can play the current game of Yu-Gi-Oh! My final example of ways that decks suck, I couldn't think of the way to phrase that, is a big one. It's a really big one for me. I hate decks that do this. I've tried to play them, it's not fun. If your deck, in addition to a lot of these other things, has to dump every single resource in order to put up like 2 negates or something like that, your deck sucks. What are you gonna do when your opponent removes or plays through those things? You have no resources left. You know, that's game-winning Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. That's why a lot of the top decks from the past couple years have done so well. It's not because they can put out 1,000 negates or they can control the entire game with 1 card. It's because they can out-resource you. That's why Sky Striker was so good before it got hit. That's why Orchest was so good before it got hit. And that's why Salamangreat is still really good. That's why Idlick is really, really good. And that's why Adamancipator is really, really good right now. Because all of them can do what they do best every turn if they want to. Now, obviously there are ways to stop them, but yeah, now I'm not saying you need to play those decks in order to be effective, but you need to figure out, okay, how am I going to get the most out of every single card? Or are you dumping 5 resources to end on a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon? You know, it's just not going to be effective anymore. That's kind of stuck back again in like 2017. I don't even think people did that in 2017, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's it. Those are reasons why your deck sucks. And don't worry, some of my decks, even right now, suck. But we'll figure it out. You just gotta jump back in, be innovative, and just try new things. Don't get caught up in what you think it should do. If it's not working, try something else. So that's my encouragement to you guys. Have fun deck building, and I hope this helped. See ya.
We don't play good decks, we play bad decks well. Scrubs by choice in this abyss we dwell.